How are you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm doing great actually. After talking to you yesterday, I feel much better about this and I'm very comfortable. And the fact that you prioritize my mental health, chef kiss, that's what everyone
Oh,
is supposed to do.
well, it's important. It's important. I think that and you're so great on your social media talking so candidly about everything and the things that you go through. And I think that helps so many people. But I want to digress. I want to kind of go backwards a little bit because I mean, your presence on social media obviously has blown up over the past year, but I want to go back to really what you started because I am that person that scrolled all the way back on your
Oh
Instagram and
no.
stuff. I was looking at your first post and it was like it was, showing different skincare products. What made you
Mhm.
interested in skincare in general?
Okay, so skincare. It was a way for me to cope with my anxiety and depression at the time. But also, I see it like it was a snowball effect, me taking care of myself, doing my skincare routine, and making that into a daily thing that I show up for myself, eventually turned into something bigger and bigger. But more importantly, it was at a point in my life where I felt super lonely. I was going through a lot of mental health issues, but not a lot of people that I can turn to talk about. So I found a way to just be completely myself and unload myself on social media. And somehow people resonated with that. And it became a thing, like, especially during COVID, everyone was feeling similar things to me, but it's nice to have someone else putting things into words for you. You know what I mean?
It's so
Um,
funny you said that about the skincare and like the
mhm,
ritualistic almost feel of it
mhm,
because sometimes when I'm struggling or when I'm getting too stressed out, those are the times that I actually slow down.
yeah,
And you have all your products and like maybe
yeah.
you'll use one here and one there. But when I really feel like I need to ground myself,
Yeah.
that's when I'm going to start with this and I'm going to do
Hmm.
this and I'm going to do
Hmm.
that. That
Yeah.
is really interesting. So, I mean,
It was.
here's what I'm curious about because you started with just some recommendations and then you started
Mhm,
posting.
mhm.
What do you think that you posted or started doing that really just all of a sudden grabbed attention?
Okay. If I had to be completely honest, it was me showing more than just skincare products, me being more than just a product reviewer, me talking to the camera like I'm talking to a friend, because at that point in time, I literally needed that company the company of my followers. But I think that really made people think, oh, this lady is probably crying for help, but at least she's very honest about it, and people were attracted to that aspect of me being just, hey, listen, I don't have my shit together. I'm just using skincare as a way to cope with my mental health. And I'm going to share my honest thoughts and reviews on products. And at the same time, I try to be educated, not just, buying into trends and chasing, the new product, but I try to educate myself by learning from dermatologists, scientists, chemists, formulators, people who actually are in the business. So I think that also kind of elevated me a little bit, because I'm not just someone who's like, hey, this type of moisturizer feel really nice on your skin. I try to be a little more analytic about things. But yeah, but I guess that's why I'm different.
I
And
actually saw your post about how you were talking about you should not be
uh,
taking your skincare advice from social media
yeah,
influencers and that it's okay to listen to them and
yeah,
okay to hear about it, but always
mhm,
do your own research. Go to a
right,
doctor, go to a
yes,
chemist, go to the experts. I really think
exactly.
that's part of what resonates with you is that you are so um, I mean, honest is one word, but it's more. It's not like you're trying to make yourself out to be something that you're not.
Right. And I think like a consumer. And I think that's why part of my social media kind of blew up, because I never saw myself as a person of authority or someone who know more than the average consumer. Because I'm not. I didn't go to school for it. I learned
Right.
from, it's like a secondhand knowledge. You know what I mean? I learned from doctors who are generous enough to share information, but I didn't go to school. I didn't write any paper. I didn't learn any from the real sources. You know what I mean? So in a way, I always tell my followers, listen, but always verify, because with the rate of how fast people can grow on social media,
And
and people,
skincare is huge on
mhm,
social media now.
it's huge. It's huge, and don't let people leverage that. Don't let people take advantage of your insecurities, because people who start to care about their skin are the people who are in a vulnerable place, like myself included. Like when you feel when you feel like you need to take care of your skin, that's a sign that something is like, maybe you're just a really like put together person, and you know what you need to do to take care of yourself. But I think me knowing that I needed to take care of my skin was a sign that, oh my God, I had been neglecting my skin and myself for too long. It's time to pick up my slack and like invest in myself. And like you say earlier, right? It's the only time in my life where I felt like I had control over what I want to put on my face, or what like the routine thing, you know. So yeah, I think it's bigger than just skincare, but also don't let people take advantage of your insecurities,
Right.
because on social media, people go viral for being shocking, for
Yeah.
giving you shock factor, or for having a fun personality, but they may not carry the truth. They may not share science. Um, yeah, so I always tell people,
It's really it's funny because I do feel like, one of the big things about, we always talk on Beauty Uncovered. We're always trying to bring out what that beauty from the inside and have it reflect on the outside. But really, in all honesty, sometimes you're just not feeling great on the inside.
nah,
And
yeah,
so taking care of yourself on the outside is that first act of kindness and
mm-hmm,
care that you can do for yourself.
mm-hmm.
And it just makes it that, I don't know, maybe it makes it easier to see what's going on in the inside. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
I agree. I think for me personally, it works differently for people. Everyone else, and not everyone is gonna have the same vanity like me. I'm a little vain, to be honest.
No,
I need to
it's
look.
funny. I am not vain, but yet I am. Like I
Mhm.
have, it's a duality. I'm the
Yeah.
same person that right now may or may
Mm-hmm.
not be in pajama pants right now, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same person that wants to wear makeup, and have my hair a certain way.
Yeah. But for me, I need to look good in order to feel good. I need to see it for myself. I need to see that what I'm doing is making an immediate impact. And it did. I mean, granted, I'm still very young. I just turned 30 this year, and it's crazy to take skincare advice from a 30-year-old who, I'm still a baby, you
You
know.
know what though? I used to have, I don't know, how old was I? Maybe like 23 years old. And I remember going to this thing. It was like a makeup seminar. I don't know why I was there because I really didn't wear makeup.
Yeah.
And I remember them talking about skincare. You got to take care of it now because you'll thank me when you get older. And I didn't take it
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
do think it's important because in every age group, you got to do different things. So in
Hmm.
your 20s and early 30s, that's a great time to be starting that ritual.
Yeah. But for me to be talking about anti-aging, I think it's very ironic. Like for someone in their 20s to give skincare anti-aging skincare advice. Now that I look back, and we talked yesterday about how I'm trying to evolve as a person, and hopefully it's evident in my content, because these days I look back at my older content and I'm like, I knew what I did there. I wanted to be shocking. I wanted to be clickbaity. or to have sound bites. But really, like who would take anti-aging skincare from a 29, 28-year old? You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, people my age, that's it. But yeah,
Well, I
kind of
mean,
funny.
so this is a good segue because we did talk a little bit yesterday and we were talking about what it's like to I hate the word insta famous, but it is kind of like that. I mean, in all honesty, you sit there and you think, a lot of celebrities or people that are very deliberately putting themselves, news people, whatever, they're putting themselves out in the media. And when we're on social media, it is a level playing field. We're
Mm-hmm.
all just basically putting content out there that resonates, what we think resonates with us or makes us feel
Mm-hmm.
good. But
Yeah.
then, as much as we all see those big numbers with a lot of different influencers, it's actually a very small pool of people, in
Mm.
the big screen, like grand scheme of things. It's just a few
Right.
people.
Right.
And you in that company of these people, and it's a different life. And
Mm-hmm.
especially speaking from your background where you have had anxiety issues and everything, I would love for you to talk a little bit about what it was like to see, like, as it was growing and going, oh,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know about you, but for a while there, I didn't want anybody to see me. I was making content, but I didn't want people to see me. It makes no sense. Completely
Yeah.
counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But what
No,
what what was that like?
yeah, it's trauma. Fame is
Mm,
trauma, and it's also addictive. It's like a drug. It gives you that temporary fix. Because when you feel lonely or you feel invalidated and you're able to have an audience who's willing to listen to you and share your message, like it's boosting your ego. So it's giving you the serotonin or the chemical, the happy chemical that you need for the time being. But if you don't know yourself, if you don't have, my friend and I always say, a solid core, and you don't know who you are, it's a distraction, because then you will be addicted to that, and you'll be chasing more and more and more, and then you eventually don't take care of your own self, your mental health, and it's gonna come at a cost to you as a person. So when I look at social media and I see people who are much younger than me and people who have not had the life experience that I have, and granted, I haven't had much compared to someone who's wiser like you, but I've had enough to navigate without kind of compromising my integrity and like getting burned out. But I see younger people and I worry about them. I think we, at the rate that we're going right now, is scary, and mental health should be prioritized, because our human biology software, whatever you want to call it, we're not equipped to handle this kind of exposure and
mhm.
scrutiny. Because as you grow an audience, everyone will feel entitled to your time and your opinion and the information that you share. And for me personally, like I say, I want to grow as a person, and therefore I want to be responsible with my voice. But I refuse to give into the lip service. Like if people are asking me to speak on all types of issues and I'm not aware of or I'm not educated enough, I'd rather not, because it come at a cost, like mentally. I have to educate myself. I have to read up and I have to gain all type of information from all sources, and I have to be educated in my statement. I'm not someone who's just, gonna say what you want to say and be like a mouthpiece. Is that how you say it? A mouthpiece?
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, I think that describes it perfectly. Do you
yeah.
find that when you're doing, let's say, because I know you have like a beautiful, wonderful scope of different types of posts. It's really based on how you're feeling and everything, but also you have the content that you've been known for, what's on B's face. So when you are doing something like that, are you doing a lot of research on the products
Mm,
before you give your opinion? Are you looking up ingredients and
mm.
everything? What
Yeah.
is your main source on that?
Yeah. So because of where I am today, it allowed me to have so many opportunities to try different products. It's just a business, you know what I mean? Like brands want their products to be showcased by influencers, so it's their incentive to like give you all free PRs and hoping for a post in exchange. I don't do stuff conventionally. So if you want to be an influencer and you want to grow, you want to put out as many reviews as possible. That's how you grow. People, you have to establish yourself as an expert, and before you get to the expert level, you gotta invest and you gotta buy skincare product and you gotta review and at this point, I don't do that. I'm trying to do things my own way. I don't necessarily care for new products because I know like brands make money by like launching new products that may not be necessary for my skin or my audience skin. So I try not to chase the hype and the new products. Instead, I do my research before I even accept the PR. So I have trusted uh, dermatologists or scientists who are also reviewing products. So if the product have been approved by these people, then I'm more likely to try it for myself
Hmm.
and see if it works on me. And then I always try to finish products rather than just move on to the next one, you know what I mean? Because I get anxiety when I have so many products that I'm not able to use before they go expire. I think that's just being super wasteful. And that's another problem with the skincare community. I
Yeah, I
think
was
people
going to
are,
say this is something that it is interesting to listen to because I do think that there's a lot of people that come onto social media and they're
mhm,
doing these reviews. And
mhm.
after a while, you sit there and you think,
Yeah,
how much is it paid? How much is it really? Do they, I mean, if they were given it to for them to free
yeah,
you know, how much of an obligation, how much of a push pull is there?
yeah,
And it is refreshing to hear that you do it like a review beforehand and decide whether or not you want to do something. But do you
yeah.
find that brands are insist like just by sending you the product are expecting you to post?
Oh. I think when I was younger, I mean when I was younger,
When
when I
I
was
was
newer to
just a
the scene.
babe.
Yeah, when I was 29, now I'm 30. But when I was newer to the scene, I feel like I wasn't. I just wanted to get as many products as possible because there's that excitement, which wore out pretty quickly. But now I think I have more control. If someone comes to me and they want me to try their product, I will try the product with no strings attached, absolutely no obligation. I don't want to post. And if I post, it's not gonna have any conflict of interest because first
Right.
of all, I didn't come to you. You came to me. You wanted you wanted exposure on my page. I will give you exposure if you deserve it. But if I try your product and I'm like, man, or if I don't think it's worth it and I feel strongly enough to talk about it, then I'll talk about it negatively or whatever. You know what I mean? So
So
right
there's a
now,
little bit of a risk for them to send it to you. They don't necessarily know what they're going to get.
but the thing is that no such thing as bad publicity. They don't care. Like the brands who
That's
are
funny.
savvy, they don't care who say anything as long as you get people to see their name and the recognize the brand and the product. I think that's a win for them. That's more than people not
You
knowing who
think
they are.
so?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
so. I think so.
I mean,
I
I
do
never
think
looked at
so.
it in that perspective, but I guess so. What is it that there's no such thing as bad press or something like that? Mm,
Yeah, especially for, I mean, skincare is very personal. So like, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that it sucks for everyone else. So sometimes if I have a product that I really feel that strongly about it, some people may see it and like, if she feel that strongly about it, let me try and see if it's that bad. You know what I mean? Like, or, but if a brand is able to take feedback and still don't get mad at you for being honest, it's a good sign. It's a good sign that they're They're just trying to make the product better. I have
Wouldn't
a
it be
few brands.
great to have a guidebook for brands? You
Yeah.
know, this is the proper response to my reviews.
No, yeah. I've seen some brands. We're not gonna name names because we're classy ladies, but but I've seen some of them who maybe the founders being a little bit too invested and they take over social media. This is a few years ago, maybe not anymore because I don't follow them anymore. But the problem with that is that when you're a founder and you have stake in the company, you're very personally invested and you don't take criticism very well because it's your baby.
Right.
It's your product. You believe in it. I've seen mistakes like that as well. And I don't, it's, you
There's no
have
need
to,
for an internet war, that's for sure.
you have
Nope, nope,
to,
nope. So
yeah.
with everything that went on and you so you did a post that went viral, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
was this something that completely freaked you out, or did you just go, well, okay, then I guess maybe I need to be more transparent? Um, I mean, I sit there and I think to myself, I cannot even fathom what goes through someone's mind when something like
Mm,
that happens. Is it like,
yeah.
oh, I'm helping a lot of people, or oh God, everybody now knows? Like what goes through your head?
That's so funny. Great question. I think I went viral. I joined TikTok and I posted three random videos that I already had on my camera, and the second one went viral so quickly. And it's so freaking. I felt alive for the first time in a long time because I'm like, what the heck is this? Like so many people and then it started feeling like, oh my god, I want to chase this feel because whatever this is good. Now more
Mm,
people are getting to know who I am, which is cool. At first it was really cool, but then when it become a pattern and you like when you tie your content creation or your creative process to the amount of attention you're gonna get, it
mhm.
become less fun. It become more pressure. Like
Because
now
what
you're
happens when you have that video that you put your heart and soul into thinking this is going to go
exactly.
viral and then it's like got 10 views. Not
I
the
know. I know. And then back to the point, right? If you don't know who you are and you don't have a solid sense of self, you're
right.
gonna tie your self-worth to that because you're like,
Mhm.
oh my God, this is me putting everything I believe in and it doesn't play well. That means I'm not a good content creator. I'm not a good person.
Or
Like
people
that's
don't like me.
exactly.
That's a very scary thought to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
And
what was it? I had a post not long ago and I've had a couple that went big and everything, but I put one on that I felt very strongly about. I think it had a total of 250 views, which is, I don't think I've ever had that low. And I just sat there and I'm like, at first I was like, oh, but then I had these few people that were commenting on that and I felt like, okay, they got something out of it. And I
mm,
think that's what it comes down to. If you are tying a
mm,
lot of worth into who sees it and who,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I
I
could see where
definitely
that could
agree.
really be destructive.
It is, especially if you don't monitor your thought pattern and you keep doing it and then you keep feeling empty unless you go viral. It's not good for you. It's not good for your mental health. It's traumatizing, like I say, right? Because you're going on a roller coaster ride and you just don't know how it's gonna end. And for me, that's when I knew to step out and just work on myself a little bit, work on myself and then come back when I'm ready. Everything's gonna be there. Don't have a scarcity mindset. Don't think, oh, I have to start over when I come back. It doesn't matter. People who like you for who you are, they want you to be well. So
Yes.
they're still gonna be there. It's not like they unfollow you overnight because you haven't posted for two weeks, 2 months. You know what I mean? So yeah, think of the meaningful connection that I'm able to establish, and I love to meet my followers in real life. Last
Does
week,
that happen a
actually,
lot?
um, so now that I moved to New York, I do get recognized a bunch. And last week, someone recognized me, and, and instead of her being a fan, I actually was a fan of her. That she knew who I was. I was like, oh my god! So like, she said, oh, I didn't want to creep you out, but I saw you from over there, and I couldn't help but I wanted to like say hi to you. And I was the one who was being extra creepy to her because I'm like, the fact that I just moved here, I meet friends. So we ended up going out to eat and we text, and now hopefully we keep in touch. But I feel like connection like that for me is why I went on social media in the first place. It's not to gain fame or anything, but for someone there to like listen and like, like validate each other,
How long have you been
Yeah.
in New York now?
I moved here July 8th, 3 days after
Wow,
my
that's
birthday.
really recent.
I know, but so far I've been able to make friends everywhere I go. Like I just think something about like after the pandemic, me kind of being antisocial for so long. Now that I get to be around people, I get to kind of like have banter with people. It's great. I love
I have
it.
to call my sister because she's lived in Brooklyn for, gosh,
Yeah.
15 years, I think. And so she knows where all the great places. I'm like, I'll have to get some like names of really cool places to go to, and
That's
I'll email
amazing.
them to you. God,
Oh.
see, so you're on such an adventure. So from you were back in the day, you were doing real estate. Are you
Mhm.
completely done with that? Are you just gonna focus more on this?
Um, right now I'm not doing anything in real estate, but also because COVID is still
Well, yeah,
around.
yeah,
Yeah. And I feel like the benefit that I would get from doing it is not going to outweigh the cost. Like it's too much for me. I mentally, emotionally, and physically, I don't want to carry anything around and spread it to
no,
other people. But right now, I'm taking a break from real estate. It, I have I was doing really great in it before social media and everything. And I just know that if I ever want to go back, it's going to be seamless, So it's something that I will always have in my back burner.
always
Um,
nice. Always
yeah,
good to have a side hustle.
but I need to, again, kind of have to work on finding myself some contentment in my life before I progress to the next stage of my career, whether in real estate or social media.
Well,
Yeah,
whether you know it or not, I really do think that you're definitely helping a lot of people by being so transparent and candid. I think it's wonderful. I have people in my life that suffer from anxiety, and it's so painful to watch. But yet, I think it's a balm to be able to hear
yeah,
people say, it's okay. We walk
yeah,
through this. Thank
yeah,
you. I think
yeah,
thank you for what you do.
yeah. I think I appreciate you. I know I know you're kind of being nice, but I know you also mean it because I get
No, I
that vibe from
genuinely
you.
mean it. I genuinely
Yeah,
mean it because I
yeah,
think it's important.
yeah. And I do agree that it's time we normalize, not just the best part of our life. I think for the longest time, I wasn't being real with myself. And when I saw everyone having the best time on social media, it made me feel bad about myself. And that shouldn't be the case. So, for me to showcase all my struggles, hopefully that create more authentic conversation among each other, and just know that it's okay. It's the norm. Like everyone is going through something right now. If you are not crazy after what we just went through, I don't trust you. I don't trust you are either way too healthy or you're not a real human with real emotions, because what we just went through 2020 with everything that happened, I don't see how you can walk away being completely not affected by any of it. You're either
I think
way too
everybody in
privileged.
some kind of degree has been affected by this,
Yeah,
no matter
yeah,
what.
yeah, exactly. So, and that's okay, right? That's okay. If we're all in it together, hopefully we can ride this wave and come out a little bit better and bring more attention and to mental health. And
And
I was
empathy.
talking exactly. I was talking to my friend who is also a person of color, and we were talking about how difficult it is to look for like an Asian psychologist who would relate to my experience because I think my identity comes from me being first generation immigrant, Asian immigrant, and I needed to talk to a psychologist who could relate to that experience because it's very unique and I could not, I'm not joking. I could not find anyone in Massachusetts and New York. I thought I would be able to find one in New York.
Not in New
And
York.
well, none of them would be available for me right now. Everyone
Mm.
that I saw not taking new clients. But here's my point. I was talking to my friend who's also a black person, a person of color, and we agree that it's because mental health has not been a priority in, education or career or the media or, society as a whole. So people who like Asian immigrants back then, they really weren't encouraged to study psychology and become a psychologist. Every immigrant family want their children to become doctors and lawyers, those, but no one care if their daughter or son became a psychologist. And now that mental health is such a crisis, mental illnesses are huge. Now we don't have enough people that we could relate to who are Asian American who study to become psychologists. So I think that's a gap for me. I'm gonna be okay, but I think it's good that everyone is talking about mental health.
Yeah, it's not easy because I was going to say there's a couple of really important people in my life that was trying to find mental health um,
Mm-hmm.
practitioners for them
Mm-hmm.
during COVID and everything like that because it was very traumatic.
Yeah,
And nobody's taking clients anymore. Everything is booked up. It was
yeah,
insane. Or a
it
wait
is.
list of 6 months. I do
Mm-hmm.
think that there's like, it's wonderful that in many ways where you sit there and think there's a lot of people that are actually looking for help.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side of the coin, obviously there has not been enough professionals out there, and there
Exactly.
needs to be. There
Yeah,
needs to
right.
be.
The right now there's a deficit. There's not enough supply and there's so much demand and hopefully this is signal people to like take it more seriously and invest in the education more to become psychologists or mental health professionals. But yeah, I don't know where to begin. I think it's been such a huge challenging journey for me to even get to this point where I can finally start to interview different psychologists because health insurance is another thing. When you're self-employed, you know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we don't have
Yeah.
to be bummers.
Goodness,
We
we
can
could
help.
we could have a good 2-hour podcast if we were to get into that whole issue.
Yeah,
Goodness, goodness.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here, and I'm really excited to see all the future posts and some good advice on skincare and all of your adventures in New York. Thank you so much for coming
I
on.
appreciate it. I appreciate you. And please do ask your sister and send me an email. I'm here and I'm ready to explore. I walk
Definitely will
I
do.
walk I walk 20,000 steps a day, like on average. So
Very nice. Well, you kind of have to in Brooklyn. You definitely
yeah.
do. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you, V.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.